Okay. Okay, I clicked the not. There was a not for kids, so I tapped that. So I don't know whether that turned the comment part off or not. Altrino, okay, I got comments now. Hey, man. Jeremy Hardman, comments are working. Ron P, good deal. Zach, what's going on, Zach? I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of my slingshot collection here. Mostly the unique ones and antique ones. I won't be on here too long. Slingburger, what's up, Dave? Ron P. We'll let a few more get in here. I thought I might try it a little bit earlier than usual. I keep a lot of my slingshot gear in here in my exercise room. Squatch. Zach. Wait just a minute. I've got some shooters from different places around the world. A couple of them anyway. I've got the first, if not the first, one of the first ones that I made in here, and got the first one I bought from Simple Shot, and I've got some customs, and I'm going to show you. I did the Veterans Day video yesterday, and I said the one I got from Joe Bishop was the only one I thought was veteran made, but it's not. I got actually two from him that he made and one that he gifted me, and I got two from, he used to be Slinging Shots. What is Brother Darrell now? Southeast Slingshots or something like that. I'll get you, I got 21 in here now. Okay. Well, I'll get started in just a second. Built like the Hulk, huh? Well, something you'll find hard to believe. In my younger years, I was a drug-free competitive bodybuilder, amateur. Entered a few amateur contests. I did a couple when I was a teenager, and I tried it again in my late 40s. And it was tough. And of course, I recovered from a back surgery. Thought I'd see if I could do it. And then I tried my last one. I was 49, and so that one was enough to do it for me. So y'all probably find that funny. The way I look now. We got 15. So we went down from 21. So I'm going to show you one of my unique slingshots. I picked this up. Let me get you over here a little bit closer in case I sit down. And so I can read. Check this out. This is comes in this little sheath. I got this at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And it's not only a slingshot, but it's got a knife blade coming out of the bottom. Movement is medicine. Yep, that's true. But it's, I guess if I didn't have anything else, I'd use it, but it's more of a novelty than anything. I'll hold it up here again. I'll put it back in here. What we got any mates in here from the UK? Chad. I'm showing some of my slingshot collection. How about we start off with one from the UK? Man, if Kent sent me this is not a Milbro, but is a Milbro style shooter. And he used to shoot this in his videos. Matter of fact, the tabs that are on it are the ones he made that are still on it. I've learned the hard way to pick them up and pull them before you draw down on them. I picked that little tad bit of information up. Big DH 2000 said he always picks them up. So he may have, I can't remember what he said, he may have run into that same deal. Now, I picked this one up and pulled it back. Was from Anna Kent that had these bands on a while. And that's what happened. So y'all know it's not such a big deal back here. Ultimately, they all tend to fail at the pouch. But if they come loose up here, come back, it's not fun. I'll pick them up again if Mr. Mannequin gets in here. I've got a bunch of them. I won't bore y'all to death and go over all of them, but I'll show you a few. There's one from the UK, but I didn't get it from the UK. I got it from Tennessee Slinging. That's a Nick Haggerty pinch grip. Wrap and tuck. He puts a slant on those tips. And I think this one's, I don't know if it's 100 mil outer, but it's on wider than he typically shoots. You want to do antiques mostly first, or you want unique ones? We all love your slingshots from Ireland. Oh, good deal. Engender Music Band. Good, glad to have you in here. Chris Graffin's got a few of my shooters. I don't have one of his. I haven't got one yet. Let's see, we have from Ireland. This one is from Australia. This is from Richard. Pickle flips. I don't have one in here. The closest thing I've got to one is what is commonly referred to as a gapper. And better check this one too. I got that one from Joe Bishop. It's made out of a bare bow limb. I know everything's backwards, so I don't know how that's showing up to you. But that's the closest one I've got in here. I've made a few. I'm not, I don't shoot them very often. I'm not very good at it, but I kind of do it the same way. Joe's, he kind of pushes forward a little and he turns the pouch. I know some people turn them and tweak them. Thank you. Dead letter. Appreciate you stopping in here, but I don't think I've got one in there. I guess I can go back and forth. I would call this one unique. Now, this was gifted to me. Bootleg. How's it going, man? It's snowing. No, not snowing here. It's actually sunshine today. You may have snow. Now, this is a Kestrel. And I did remember the guy's name that made it. But these are the first generation Scout clips. Some of y'all probably remember those. But this is it's a pinch grip. And the guy did a really good job. It can be shot over the top, and he's scalloped out the fork tips. It's set up TTF right now. And, but finger, thumb, and put that there. I imagine you could put a lanyard through that hole and come back here and get some more. I've thought about a few times that with the grip being like it is, take it and make one with a complete handle, but it's pretty cool. I think Joe told me that was zebra wood. If I missed something, y'all jump back in. Steve Pano, Geraldo de Rivera as a slingshot expert. Well, I do have a mustache. It's I don't know that I'd call myself an expert, but I'm showing some of my collection. Looks like Secret Agent by Bill Hayes. This, yeah, he does have some shorter ones. I know what you're talking about, and I think he makes one that's got a whole type loop in it there. Oh, let me just hang that up. That way I won't show you the same one twice. Let's get that gadget shooter out of the way here. Let's look at one of my old ones. We'll look at an antique. How long am I going here? I won't go too long. This is a Whammo. And I don't know whether this was bought in a yard sale or an estate sale, but there's $1.50 on there USD, and it came, and it don't look like it's seen a whole lot of action. This is either oak or ash, and the old Whammo. You know, they were slotted, and man, you'd had to have some grip to shoot that with. And they come with, and there's still some pieces of the old gum rubber in here that's dried up still with it, and a big leather. Actually, the leather pouch is still pretty soft, and it came with a .25 caliber ammo. 40 quarter-inch steel balls, and it come with a pack, a starter pack, and there's some instructions here. And this is unique. If we put this up against my shirt, can you see it? This gadget is made to go, I think it probably fits in this outer gap here. And you put bands on, and you can shoot an arrow with it. How about that? Yeah, I just happened to see it, and I thought I gotta have it. Put it back down here. Got, before I forget it, in case I run out of time here, I said yesterday that I thought Joe Bishop had the only slingshot warrior. This was the only frame that a veteran had made and give to me, but I was wrong. He had made me two, and Daryl from, is he Southeast Slingshots now? He used to be Sling and Shot. He's a vet, and I have two of his. Is that a dandy? Check that out. Look at this work he does in the end of it here. Is that pretty? And the finish is just something else. He is good at it. And this is this smaller one. It's got a lanyard in it this way. Also got that turquoise. Thanks for the hearts, the likes. Yeah. Thanks, Al. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good bin. He got a good finish on. And I showed you all custom. This one, he made two. He made one for Great, dehumidifier, come on. Let me unplug that thing while I'm talking to you guys. We won't have to fight that racket. He's known as, thanks Ron P. Thanks Slingshot Warrior. As the devil's son-in-law on the Slingshot forum. I'm only on one of them. Is there a Slingshot? I think the one I'm on is a Slingshot community forum. But anyway, that pretty cool. Look at that insert in there. There's looks like a screw or a rod that goes through it to hold it on, but it's and a nice looking lanyard to go with it. This is gifted. This is Toddy's Mule, and I forgot who he said made it too. It's got an aluminum core and got brass pins and got a cool pinky swell. That is a comfy shooter. It is in that ballpark and the sizes of these Milbro. I bet man, I can tear this one up with that upright style shooting like he does, because it's a little wider than he is, I guess. Not a ton. The real Milbro is a little more narrow, but anyway, those down. All right, let's see the custom. I think I picked this up, didn't I? This from Australia, from Richard. Look at that stuff he got in there. That a beauty. Look at that good crisp 90 on the end of it to sight with. About another antique. I've actually got two of them. I don't know why they're so much different in the colors. I like pinch grip. Yeah, I do too. I'm a pinch grip guy. These are Victor Animal Trapping Company. This is the Victor 20. And I'm pretty sure I can remember when I was a little kid that my dad, he had an old country grocery store. And I'm thinking he may have had these. Now, that's going to be rough on the wrist. That is some tall fork. It's actually a comfortable grip. But, you know, we like them on down here now, especially experienced shooters. There was a little I-beam went in there, and they had their old type rubber bands on that. I guess they were afraid of hitting the hand or something, but man, that's some tall forks. Interesting feature. Secret compartment right here to store ammo in. How about that? Goes right in the center of the handle. It's hollow. And I happen to have or something in there. I don't know what that was. But anyway, Victor Animal. Thanks, Al. I think that's let's do a unique, I guess. Anybody got one of Big DH 2000's Naturals? Or made from a natural fork. He does a nice job on those, but puts that ergo in it. Professor Squatch. You ain't fitting those in a pocket. No, some of them. No, that wouldn't be a pocketable one, that's for sure. I'm thinking these have got to be old, and I think I bought both of these from Joe Bishop. Anybody ever seen one of these? I forgot what I looked up. I wanted to say one of this was, it looks kind of like maybe a Victor type There's another slot method type shooter. You have a bone grip slingshot? I don't have a bone grip. You can fit, no. We used to call them wishbone frames. Okay. Now so they're apparently hollow at some place, but they got to be solid right here on the tips because see, there's no void inside where the slots are. I've seen some similar to this, and I've seen some similar online that were plastic looking, but there again, they used to make them bigger. And this one's called a Silent Slim, and it's made in the USA. Thought this would, yeah, tuning for us, what it sounds like. Maybe it's this one that makes the bigger ring. So, but it's solid up here, but the rest of that's got to be hollow. And that looks like some kind of a manufacturer mark. I don't know if that's how they done what they done. It says patent pending on it right here. ARC Manufacturing Company. Any of you ever hear of such? This part maybe I can get, since I see the Milbro is so, a lot of them they must have shot upright mostly, but I'm not sure what all this handle's about. And I've got a pretty good size hand for my size, and I usually, to comfortable, my fingers are not giant, my palm is pretty wide. I usually get a large, extra large is more comfortable. But you can see, look at all that handle. I don't know what the rest of that was for. Let's see, let's put it up against there's a Sparrow from Fowler. And that's how much difference there is in the height. So anyway, that's a couple antiques and unique. I think they're antiques. First slingshot I bought, it was a slot method. Man of Kent. Good evening. I've already talked about your shooters. I'm looking at my collection. This one still has the old flipping out logo in it. That was called the Peerless. And it was a slot method. When I first started, I was really all about that. Matter of fact, the first shooter this is the first one or one of the first ones I made, and that's a Wild Cherry. And it was a slot. I've cut it down. I've showed my old antique whammos, and already showed everybody the ones you sent me. There's another one from the UK. You all probably recognize that young man. That is a Gamekeeper PPMG. I contacted him and I had him make me one out of plywood. I thought I would probably rather have a plywood than have an aluminum one, but I wish I had one of both. And I wish I had the Pocket Poacher Super Grip, one of each, but there it is. This greatly influenced I made my son one, and I made it a slot method. They're not the same, but it's just kind of my take on it. And I put some oak in there. Made him one of them. Since I'm on the slots, we'll look at a couple more of them. This is a gadget shooter that I've made. I made a couple of them. I made one that had another color shotgun shell on it. That's the sassafras right there, Mr. Glenn. And I made a slot shooter out of it, but it could be cut down to here to make a make an over the top. Anybody remember Sharpshooter JD? Sharpshooter JD. He was a young man that made these. He made others too, but he made these bent metal rod slingshots. Yeah, I learned a lot from Gamekeeper too. I watched his to start with, and a lot of the shooters were 100 mil outer, and this one, and so I started watching him, the 100 mils, and that coming to the corner of the mouth. That's kind of what got me on that. I've had to learn to move up to anchor on the cheek, but that is aluminum, and it is a slot method. He is not making them anymore that I'm aware of, and I contacted him, asked him if I could make one, and he said, yep. So that was my first try at it. I wanted to make them a little wider, and so that's my try at that. I haven't shot either one of these in a while. Picked this up off of somebody. I guess I was technically wrong. I told somebody asked me earlier, I think from Ireland, about a PFS. I do have one, but I've never banded it. It looks like a challenge to band, and somebody's turned part of that, but they put a nice finish on it, and I got that off of one of the giveaway tables, and I was, I did an interview with Trapper D's and pretending to use it as a microphone. Let's see, I don't know that I have any more. And I have the second version is slightly different on the tips, but you see this anybody remember these? The Rambone from Urug Sprava. Thanks, Glenn. The hammer grip. Over the top shooter. What's a good starter? I think the Scout series is hard to beat. That you get from Simple Shot. I've got one of every type of them. There's one of the original Scout XTs. You can shoot them over the top, shoot them through the forks. New shooter, the fork tips, I think don't need to be super low like some experienced shooters could shoot, but they've got an LT and an XT. The XT is 100 mil outer, and they've got a new version of this, got a fiber optic side on it. I'm trying to limit my, how long have I been on here? 28 minutes. Do more unique slingshots and odd ones. There's another one. This is called the EDDS. Ethan sent me that one too. That is, I think this is Jimpu. That's the only of those that I've ever shot. And there's a guy had, this is 3D printed. It's a 3D printed pinch grip. When I told you earlier that the old grocery store that my dad used to run when I was a kid had these Victor Animals with the ammo holder in them. They also had these. Anybody out there remember these? got a target and a little small bent metal rod slingshot. I've got a couple of them left. I wanna hold on to at least one. And I mentioned the Rambone here. Yeah, it's nostalgic. It is. Well, I decided to make one. That's probably one of the better looking shooters that I've made, but I made one at a slot, so I kind of crossed between a Whammo and a Rambone. So I called it the Whambone. That's another hammer gripper. And my wife, it doesn't appeal to her much, but she decided she wanted one. She wanted one made out of cedar, just found it for looks. So I made her one that's over the top, out of cedar. She might pull one back and just send some ammo down range, but target shooting like I do, it doesn't really appeal to her. I meant to get, I don't know what I did with my Bumblebee chalice. Some of you, maybe one or two of you out there's got one. Believe it or not, it started from this ash cup here. Now there I am back. I don't know if I can text him or not. There's a sassafras. That one is similar to what Man of Kent's got. I think his is the nicer one of the two, but it's similar to that. And that's one that hadn't done a little bit of work to it, but it's still all bark on. I hear him pulling up. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm doing a live, so I couldn't answer. That's okay.
Did it mess you up?
No, it didn't mess me up. I'll be done in a few minutes. What?
I've got to paint Tina Leonard's living room. This is where I'm going, but that money for Harper's in 2 certificates. I got to turn it in tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, I'll get with you in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. This is my chucking collection. I think this is from the Layton. That was my son. Version of the PPMG that Omega Slings gifted me. I think in connection with I kind of helped. I made the first working template for the Spitfire, and it was not my design. It's Chuckin's design, and I've evened some things up on it and all that. But anyway, I thought about bringing that original he had in here to let you all see it. That is one of Bill Hayes's. That is aluminum. And like I said, I've got a decent sized hand, so you can imagine how big his hands is. That's a big one. Cam handle, you just need to take that whole box and put a stamp on it and send it to you. Have you been out there? Good to have you in here, brother. Cam handles, I've seen part of them already. That's a Chuckin Natural. And this was my attempt to duplicate Man of Kent's tube shooter. I've seen his, it looks a lot like it. This is the first one somebody else made for me. That is a custom from a nephew, made out of PVC. Hold on a second. Hey, Brandon? How much was that? Billfold's on the counter in there. Go get it. I don't know if I got it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Where was I? I have a, thanks, Glenn. This is a K-bar. It's kind of a nostalgic thing. I have shot it, but these forks are pretty tall. Now that might not be bad for a new shooter, but they probably need to know how to wrap and tuck. I imagine that's made for tubes. I don't know about any clips for it, but somebody was asking there, that's Scout XT. There's my Kevin Lowe custom. I just got a comment from Trapper D's. I don't know if we started and stopped or what. No, it stopped there for a minute. Has it just been the continuity stayed on the video? That's my Kevin Lowe custom. You leaving? You leaving?
I'll put you 5 on there. I'll bring you another 5.
Come here. This is younger, taller, better looking version of me. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'll talk to you after a while. All right, love you. Trapper D's made from natural, but Glenn could tear that one up too. All right, I've got several more, but I'm 37 minutes, so I've probably about bored you to death. Anything I need to show Glenn that he missed? I had a shooter that has a blade in it, so I guess if you're interested, you can go back and watch through again. Whoever chimed in there earlier, this is the latest version of the 100 mil outer Scout. Thanks, Draco. Good Lord. How in the world did you ever feed that? Well, you know, it's interesting. He was just about 5'7" when he graduated high school, and then he grew some more. That's the Scout and the Scout XT. I don't think I have one of them in here. They're out there on the table. Mr. Vandal there will have an affiliate link that you can get you one of these from, or anything from Simple Shot. That's actually, I got this for him at the Bushcraft show last year. He hadn't broke it in. I've got one too here somewhere. I think that's the latest version of the regular production Axiom. That's not the Pro made out of aluminum. That's the other one. I think I've showed you all of these over here. My first Simple Shot one I bought. I have this is my, matter of fact, Cam Vandal's got one similar to this. That was my first super grip that I made. You can see how much influence it is, how much it was influenced by the gamekeeper. I used his cup but I changed the grip. Yep, they got a variety. And I moved the handle to the side. He was going to make one, and it never did go into production. And I've wondered, because if you have an offset handle, if he was going to have them made in aluminum, then you know you'd have to have a left and a right. Then you're going to end up with some stock that your production purposes, a center handled shooter probably, you know, is more practical. But he made one sort of like this off of his Excalibur frame. I think it started in the center and then kind of had some ergo in it, but he had wing tips. It had a very similar grip to this, but it was offset just a little bit. Another simple, that's the bean flip. I've had that one for a while. Pinch gripper. I've showed you my old antique whammo. Simple Shot sold a whammo repro several years ago. And it's like the wooden one, it's a chunk. So that was my first one down. Of course, you all see me shoot this one. I have both versions of the torque. Speaking of cam vandal, that was I think this was the first attempt at doing that horizontal slot tater. I've got one or two more that are textured. I got a little afraid of them, so I decided not to pursue that. Cam vandal's got one, Joe Bishop's got one. That's the hammer. I've got a Scout XT head to go in it. That I've never tried. This is, I don't know if anybody out there's ever tried to make a slingshot out of crepe myrtle. You think, well, that'll be good, but that stuff is hard after it dries. That's an old hammer grip that I goof around with. But this is a oddball design that I worked with for a while. It's also one reason I make my pinch grippers, I get rid of this so you don't have if they don't hit you just right, that wing can dig in between the pointer and index finger. So this took it out of the picture. There's another one of my Trapper D's. Ergo over the top. And I think my wife found this somewhere laying in the yard. There's a pine, but it must have been out of some rich stuff because it's pretty tough. But I never did cut it on down to to anything else. But I think that's going to do it for today. I appreciate y'all stopping in here. I still got 15 and I babbled on. See you later, Cam Vandal. Thanks for stopping by, bud. But my favorite one out of all my collection is this one. Not because it's a great shooter, because it's got all these tall oak forks. Apparently was some of the thinking in the past. But this is one my dad made. It never got banded up. I wish that I'd been into these modern flat band shooters before he passed away, because he would have been good at it. He was a good whittler. And I've banded this one up and moved it down kind of more in my range and done one of those snare methods on it and shot it. But if I was going to shoot it, I'd cut it on down, but I don't want to alter it. I want to leave it just like he made it. So So that's my favorite one out of all my collection. So that's what we looked at there. And I'll go ahead and get off here. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks to everybody from the UK chiming in, and all my sling buds. Have a great evening. Everybody stay safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.